Hola, como estás? And things of this nature. So I'm gonna just tell you guys right up front. I'm giving you a disclaimer. You know, I'm very long-winded and I like to give details. Okay, so with this particular story, there are a lot of details. So try to keep up where you can always rewind this bitch if you like. Okay, but I'm just letting you know that there are a lot of details with this particular story. So let's just hop right into our meal because, bitch, I'm about to go ham and cheese on this hoe. Okay. Yes, I am serving up the swine, and I'm not cutting off the edges of the crust. I'm giving this bitch to you in her natural state. So with that being said, let's proceed with the story. So about a month ago, I went on Craigslist and I looked for different, employment, I guess, positions, jobs, if you will. And out of all the different jobs that I applied for, only one responded back to my application, if you will. Now, the job that it was basically looking for a caregiver for a home for the elderly, a senior citizen home, if you will. Okay, so with me not knowing of the senior citizen home, which to be honest with you, it could have been any senior citizen home and I would have still Googled it just because I'm not really familiar with senior citizen homes, whatever the case would be, okay, fine. So I Googled it. Okay, needless to say, I Googled it. And when I Googled it, I saw that it was a reputable company, whatever the case may be. So that put my mind at ease. So when I did that, like I said, I applied for the job, whatever the case may be. And I got the response back from who I now know as Miss Jessica Smith. Now, when I initially was reading the ad before I applied for the job, paraphrasing here, it basically says something along the lines of, basically we're looking for reliable caregivers. If you're not experienced, we have on-the-job training, so it's all good. We would prefer you to have 2 to 3 years or whatever she was saying. We would prefer you to have experience in the field, but if you're not experienced, we do provide training for those people that we feel qualified for the job. So I felt like I love the mature youth. I love senior citizens. They have beautiful spirits, and I just enjoy working with them. So I felt like I would be getting paid for doing something that I like doing anyway. And by me getting paid with this job having a steady cash flow, that would enable me to supplement what I'm trying to do with my own personal career as it pertains to music, etc. Okay? That being said, I applied for the job. Ms. Jessica Smith emailed me back, and she was basically, which first of all, pause. Even in the email that she responded back to me, see, if I had been listening to my intuition, if I had just done what I knew I should have done all along, like Maya Angelou said, which is basically, quoting the great Miss Maya Angelou, when motherfuckers show you who they are, believe their ass. If I had just believed what my instinct was telling me about this individual in question, we wouldn't even be talking about this right now. But be that as it may, I didn't want to be a negative Nancy and or a suspicious Susan. So as I'm reading the email, I'm thinking to myself, this bitch is kind of weird because she has very broken ass English. Like words that she should not be misspelling, she's misspelling. For instance, care. C-A-R-E. She spells C-A-R-R-E. Okay, girl, well, that's not really how you spell care. But even with that being said, I still was like, well, just maybe English is not her first language, making excuses for this bitch. Red flag number 2. The ad was for patients with dementia and Alzheimer's. That's what they specialize in. That's what the major or the greater population in this particular senior citizen home, that is what they're basically... That's what they specialize in, long story short, okay? So, as I'm reading the email, she's talking about her personal sister who needs a personal caregiver at her personal home, which if I'm given the position will be in Georgia somewhere near me so that I will have access to her. So, I'm thinking that that's weird because, okay, well, number one, as I said, I don't have any experience in the application when I initially applied or put my bid in for the job, if you will. Okay, so I already said that I don't have much experience. You're relocating her here on my behalf, but I'm not really that experienced. You have yet to do any type of phone interview with me, Skype interview with me, anything like that. And for this to be your sister seemed to me like you would be suspicious of me or anybody that's applying for the job because it's your sister. She's in a wheelchair, according to you. And seemed to me like you would want the best person for the job. So it seemed to me like you would at least want to speak to me at least once. right? So red flag number 2. Red flag number 3. Like I said, the thing was for dementia and Alzheimer's. She told me that she was going to send me a check, my first week's check, which actually that particular statement was made in a later email, but I'm just making the point now. She said that she was going to send me my first week's paycheck of $350 plus an additional $150 for medical supplies. She listed off a couple of different medical supplies that her sister would be needing. Of course, me being me, I Googled them so that I would be familiar with these particular devices, and I would be somewhat familiar on how to operate them. So, and not only did I Google them, I YouTubed them so I could see how people use them, so forth and so on, because I wanted to make sure that I could properly take care of this woman. So as I'm researching the devices had nothing to do with dementia or Alzheimer's. The devices were for diabetes and high blood pressure. So I thought that was weird too. But again, I pushed my suspicions to the back burner of my mind with the hash browns because I didn't want my suspicion mixing with my eggs. So with that being said, she said she was going to send me the money. And I'm kind of like, I told my mom, I'm like, isn't it weird that she would send me a paycheck before I even start working? What if I just decided to take the money and then not do the job? Which I would never do that, but she doesn't know that. I could be a con artist myself. You don't know who I am. So I thought it was kind of weird, but again, I didn't question it. So anyway, after there was a series of emails back and forth, all to me which were very suspicious. But I just ignored my suspicion because I wanted to be positive and think positively, laws of attraction, so forth and so on. Okay, fine. Be that as it may. Maybe 2 days later, I don't know. I want to say it was maybe about 2 days later, I got this envelope in the mail. A UPS Express mail envelope. And it didn't have anybody's name in particular on it, but it did have my address, obviously, whatever the case may be. So I pulled the string off of it, and my mom was like, oh my God, maybe this is the check for the job that you got, so forth and so on. I'm like, maybe. So when I open it up, I pull this check out. Now, you all know, if you watch my post, if you follow what I do, you all know that I'm not the greatest in math. I know I'm really good at basic math, adding, addition, subtraction, whatever, multiplication, division, and all the other shit is a little bit fishy, but it's the point that the shit that you really need, unless you're a scientist or some shit, I fucking know. Fine. I look at the check and I'm thinking to myself, okay, now I know I'm not the greatest in math, but does this say $3,250 or are my eyes playing tricks on me? I'm like, Mom, what does this say? She says, it says $3,250. And then I'm looking in the corner of the check and I see a company that says TLC Diversified. And I'm thinking to myself, well, I know that I did not Google this company. I don't know who this company is. And I don't know why they're sending me a check for this amount. And I know that when I worked at Foreman Mills in New Jersey, my checks used to look like this. So the check looks official. It looks like a real check. But I'm trying to figure out, why are they sending me this check? So I'm trying to imagine and I'm trying to rationalize what's happening and why it happened and so forth. And I'm thinking, well, maybe one of my supporters sent me this check as an anonymous gift for me to do what it is that I need to do with it. Maybe. And my mom was like, maybe, yeah, maybe. But then I'm thinking, but hold on, ho. Because at the end of the day, how did they get my address? So even if it was my supporter, now I'm a little creeped out because how do you know where I live? I never gave my personal address. You have my P.O. box. So if anything, this should not have showed up at my door. It should have went to my P.O. box if it in fact came from one of my supporters. So now I'm feeling like, okay, now we're back in the red zone. Now I'm feeling some type of way about the whole situation again. And I still have yet to connect the dots from that check to Ms. Jessica Smith. So with that being said, my mom was like, well, why don't you go ahead on and research the company, give them a call, and let them know that you received the check. And if it is, in fact, a check that was meant to be for you and everything is okay, then everything will check out. You don't have to worry about anything, and you can cash the check. So I Google it, and in fact, it is a company that is a legitimate company. They do plumbing or whatever the case may be. And I'm thinking, okay, but this has nothing to do with the senior citizen home, and I don't know where this is coming from. So I give the people a call. I get my phone, and I call. Hello. Hi. Yes, my name is Quadir, and this is going to sound really crazy. But I received the check for, she cuts me off and says, don't tell me, for $3,250. I'm like, yeah. She's like, honey, don't cash that. You're like the sixth person today to call in about the check. And it's not, don't do it. It's a real check, but our system got hacked. And basically, they stole that money and we had to close our different accounts and so forth because they stole so much money and are sending these checks out to people to cash. Don't cash it. So I'm like, okay, now I see. So I'm like disappointed because I'm thinking, damn, I could have went on Craigslist, speaking of the goddamn devil, just because Craigslist is so goddamn helpful and legitimate, right? Girl, please. So I'm thinking I could have went on Craigslist, saved up some money, my little YouTube. I'm sure my mother would have thrown in some money too. Got me a nice little used Jeep Wrangler. I could have got my duffel bag, my cooler, packed Samaya up. We could have pumped it, got a little GPS, and we could have pumped it to Miss LA in my Jeep. That way, even if I don't have a place to necessarily live, I could live in my car. I don't mind doing that because in my mind tells me, Quadir, it's not going to take you long to meet people. It never does. And I say that with a humble heart. I'm not trying to be a bitch or I'm not trying to be cocky about it, but I'm just clocking till it need to be clocked. Anytime I go out and I meet people, I always meet creative people, people who want to assist me, so forth and so on. But, the thing about it is with me being here and not in the places where I really should be, it kind of makes it harder to collaborate with like minds, if that makes any sense. Because here in Georgia, one thing I find about people in Georgia is everybody got this. Yeah, I can do this for you. I can do that for you. Blase squat. A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H. The whole goddamn alphabet. The whole damn the whole goddamn number scale, bitch. But at the end of the day, it ain't nothing but a bunch of hot air. It's nothing but a bunch of hot gas because you're not producing any results. And one thing I find about Georgia is that everybody want to be something, but nobody wants to do the work to be that bitch, that boss bitch that they want to be. You claim you're a socialite, you claim you're this, you're that, you're a promoter. Everybody want to be a club promoter. Everybody want to be this, everybody want to be that, but ain't nobody really doing the work. Everybody wants to do the glamorous part of it, but nobody really wants to do the real work. And I'm kind of like, at this point, that's why I'm trying to blow this hot dog stand, because at the end of the day, it's kind of like, it's time for me to give another location a chance, girl. When I was in Jersey, like I said, I was doing my numbers up there, but it just so happens that it didn't work out between me and my grandfather, so I had to come back to Georgia. But when I was up there, the shit was actually moving forward. But we ain't even going to go into that because I love my grandfather, so I ain't going to give him too much, but he knows like I know. Girl, next. Anyway, so in any event, obviously I wasn't going to get the Jeep, so I was disappointed, but I felt good that I could do the right thing and not fuck these people over because they didn't do nothing to me, and that's not how I roll. I don't believe in doing scams. I don't believe in that. That's not my tea. So, I was glad that I didn't just have a knee-jerk reaction and cash the check, and then I'm glad I didn't do that. But where this bitch messed up, where Miss Jessica Smith messed up, is like 2 days after I got that check, she miscalculated. See, that's where she messed up. She miscalculated. And let me tell you how God works. As people, we all have lives and we all do our thing, and we have good times and we have bad times. But I can guarantee you, in my personal opinion, I feel like when you are a good person who genuinely cares about people and you genuinely care, you might not always be able to do what it is that you want to do to uplift the people. But when you genuinely care and you have a pure heart and you really want to see good in people and blase squaze, yeah, you might get fucked over. But I can guarantee you, God ain't going to let you fall but so far, because at the end of the day, you're one of God's people. Whatever that may be, whether it's he, she, they, I don't give a damn. The powers that be. That's my personal belief. So I feel like you can't touch me, Miss Jessica Smith, because I'm in God's favor, sweetie. You just didn't know it. See, you thought that envelope that you sent me was going to come 2 days after you sent me your email, but you were mistaken. It came 2 days earlier. So when you sent me that email, I was already up on game. So when she sent me the email, I'm not gonna lie. Initially, I still didn't connect the dots because it was sometime in the morning, 1:30, 2:30 in the morning, and she was talking about, yeah, I'm sending you an extra couple grand because I need you to go to Western Union and wire the money to the renter's office to help to pay my sister's rent at her place, so forth and so on, and blah blah blah. But when I saw that whole thing with Western Union, I'm like, you know what? You're doing way too much. I already didn't want to get the medical supplies because I don't feel like that's my job to do that. And now you're asking me to pay somebody to take this check, to pay this rent, to do that. And I'm just kind of like, hey, yo, check it. At the end of the day, why can't you just mail the check in and why can't you do it? If it's your money, why couldn't you just Western Union it from where the fuck you are to the person? Why can't you do that? Why are you going to send me the money and have me do? It's like you're giving me extra steps when really you could have just did it yourself. So even though I didn't necessarily clock the T that she was the scammer, I did clock the T that she was extra. And at this point, I really didn't even want to work with you. I don't even want to work with you at this point because I feel you're making me feel uncomfortable, and I don't even know why, but I'm uncomfortable with you because there are all these red flags. And I'm trying to be optimistic, but at the end of the day, I can't keep ignoring these fucking red flags that your ass is sending me, sweetie, and it just is what it is. What do you want me to do? I don't know. But I'm not going to sit up here and be no stupid ass bitch any longer for you, bitch. Yes, I might have been stupid by believing you all this time, girl, but I just can't do it anymore, girl. I can't get on this midnight train to Georgia, girl, with you, girl. I can't do it. I can't do it, Gladys. I can't do it, chicken and waffles. I just can't do it with you, sweetie. So, in any event, like the next day after I got that email, I'm talking to my sister in the family room. And in the middle of my conversation, I'm like, oh my God. I'm talking to her about the whole thing with the caregiver. And in the middle of that conversation, I'm like, oh my God. Hold on. She's like, what happened? I'm like, hold on. I come upstairs, I get my phone, and I get this check. And I'm looking at the email, and I see the grand total that she was sending me. And it was obviously $3,250. So Miss Jessica Smith is the person who scammed, who attempted to scam me, who stole all that money from TLC Diversified. It was Miss Jessica Smith. It was Miss Jessica Smith. And like I say, bitch, at the end of the day, it's like I said in one of my songs, which God willing, if I can get my homie, he has this person, he knows this person who does music videos, he charges a fair rate. And if I can get him to do this video, I think it'll be real high, and I think you guys will really enjoy it. But it's like one of the lines in the second verse is, you know, you cannot touch me no matter how hostile, because I heard a good word from the gospel. The gospel. At the end of the day, bitch, you cannot touch me. It's like I said, because I'm in God's favor, sweetie. And it just is what it is. I know people would love, just in general, people would love to see me not be successful. And even though temporarily I'm doing my numbers on YouTube, whatever the case may be, that's temporary, sweetie. Because as far as I'm concerned, I know that there are bigger and better things. It's just a matter of preparation, faith, and staying to the course, period. But all of this extra shit with people trying to scam you and scamming me and all this other stuff, it's kind of like, you know what, you need to get a fucking life because you're a loser. And let me just say this real quick. Anybody who lives their life by doing shit like this, shiesty shit like this, stealing people's identities and fucking up their credit, fucking up families and so forth, you're never going to be happy. I don't care. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to be happy. You're never going to do anything substantial with your life. You're just taking up space. And when you die, nobody will remember you. You will be forgotten. And people will move on with their lives. And they will move on without you in it. And you're a loser. And you will always be that. Because anybody that can steal from other people without even thinking or having a concern, well, how is this person going to eat tomorrow night? What does this person need this money for? When you do that to people, trust and believe your time is coming. Your time is coming. I said it in the Revelation. I said it in my song, The Revelation. I said it. You can take from people. And just because you don't see the results of it up front, it's like a credit card, bitch. It's like a credit card, motherfucker. Either you're going to pay now or later, but you're going to pay. And it just is what it is. Now, how you want to do this? Money order? Cashier's check? I don't give a fuck. But you're going to pay. You're gonna pay. You know what I'm saying? You see these people gallivanting with their red bottom Louboutins and they think they talk about something. You're still a catfish. Like I said to Miss Dwight Eubanks, you're still a catfish in an Armani suit. Okay? You're still a shrimp in an Alexander McQueen gown. Okay? You're still a fucking crab. Okay? In a Burberry tuxedo. You're still a loser. You're going to always be a loser. You might look like something on the outside, but from the inside, you're rotting. Okay? Right from the top to the bottom. Just decay all over the place, girl. Decay. Rot. Poison and disease. Boils. Disease. You're a fucking cancer. A cyst. Okay? You're a cancer to society. That's what you are. That's exactly what you are. And you're never going to be happy. And I'm just letting you know. For anyone who's watching this who lives like that, I'm sorry to tell you, but it's the truth. You're never going to be happy because you're rotten. You're rotten. And you're never going to be happy. Not when you're stealing from other people and moving on with your life like it doesn't even matter. How could you? How could you? For somebody to try to fuck me over like this, I'm struggling myself. I'm simply trying to make a living here. And I wanted to genuinely take care of what I thought was your sister. For you to try to run a scam on me, for someone who was trying to assist you and help you, it's kind of like, fuck you, really. And then somebody had sent me, after that scam had happened, I believe it's the same person as Jessica Smith, just a different name. And she emailed me, her name is Rita Adama, and it's spelled A-D-A-M-A. She writes to me, "Dear beloved in Christ Jesus, I greet you in all the matchless name of our Lord and Savior Christ Jesus." And pause. See, this is how they try to get over on you. They try to tap into your emotional, like, oh, it's a handicapped person. Oh, she's talking about Jesus and all this and all that. That's how they try to hook you in. Girl. Anyway, in Christ, Savior Christ Jesus, how are you, the family, as well as ministry? I'm Miss Rita Adoma. And see, this is what I'm talking about. See, you're a con artist. And a sloppy one at that. Bitch, your name on the email address is Rita Adama, which is spelled A-D-A-M-A. But in the actual email itself, you spell your name I-D-O-M-A. You're not even a good one. You're a sloppy-ass con artist, girl. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic. It's very pathetic. I'm Miss Rita Adoma. I was born in a village in Israel, born in a rich and Hindu family before I was married to Mr. Mark Adoma. Before he died in 2003, after a brief sickness before his death, he left in a private finance company the amount of $2 million. Now, anytime you get these emails with these motherfuckers talking about, oh, there was a family that crashed in a plane accident and the whole family died and they left this, don't even buy into it. It's fake. It's fake. It's not fucking real. Okay? So I emailed this bitch and I said to her, I say this with all due respect. Get a fucking life. Your name isn't Rita, just like mine isn't Justin. You're a scammer and not even a good one, bitch. Good day. And that's that. Because I just had to let that hoe know, like, I know what you're talking about. I know what you're doing. And you're late. You're late. People, but here's the bigger picture with what I want to say. At the end of the day, I was very thankful because that taught me a lesson. It taught me a very important lesson. Two things. Number motherfucking one. Maya Angelou said it best, and I thought I learned this lesson, but apparently I did not. Because Maya Angelou said it best. When people show you who they are, believe them. That's all you have to do is believe them. Don't try to dissect it and try to see the better part of the situation. No. Believe them. You can avoid a lot of issues in your life by believing people when they say that they're con artists, scammers, that they're rapists, that they're child molesters, that they're ABCDEFG. And when I say that these people are saying this, they don't literally say it, but it's in their actions. It's in what they do. It's in their body. It's in the different way that they carry themselves. You can tell a weirdo when you see it. Like, so I don't know what it is, but he's freaking me out. I don't even know what it is, but I don't want to leave my kids around this guy because it's something about him. It's just something about the way he is, and I don't trust him. And I don't even want to be here. I don't even want to see him right now. And I'm tempted to call him in. Because maybe he's on somebody's wanted list. And maybe he ain't even supposed to be here. Believe your instincts, people. Because 9 times out of 10, it will not lead you wrong. Lesson number 1. Lesson number 2. Treat people with kindness, people. We're all flawed. I'm not perfect. You're not perfect. There are many things that I do in my life that I'm like, maybe I should have done that differently. I wish I had said this differently. I'm not perfect. But I know that the overwhelming part of me, 98% of me, is good. As it pertains to me wanting to see other people do well. I want other people to be happy. I want to be happy. But I don't want my happiness to come as a result of me stiffing other people. Or me becoming successful from other people's blood, sweat, and tears. And then they don't get nothing out of the deal. I know that I treat people right. Because I want to be treated right. And I believe, in my personal opinion, that when you come from that perspective, you will be favored. It just is what it is. You will be favored. I can't tell you, one time I left my wallet on the cafe, and when I was going to this college up here, left my wallet on the and normally I never do stuff like that. Just like when I threw my wallet away, I never do stuff like that. Left my wallet on the table in the cafeteria. Somebody found my wallet and turned it into the lost and found. Everything that I left in there was still there when I got to it. See, that's God. That's the universe looking out for me. Whoever that was could easily went in there, took all my money out, took my debit, had a field day with it, ran me up in debt, and I would have never been the wiser. I mean, I would have found out, but I would have never known who did it. But they didn't. They had a good spirit, and they did the right thing by turning my wallet in. Because if I had found somebody's wallet, that's what the fuck I would do. And that's God looking out. You know what I mean? One time I left my phone. I had gotten off the bus, and I was texting someone, and I thought I put my phone back in my pocket, but I didn't. I actually left it in the chair. There was this black couple around my age. And see, this just go to show. See, society will have you believe something different. But young black couple around my age, I left my phone in my seat by accident, and I was reaching my pockets, and as I'm reaching my pockets, the bus is pulling off. I'm like, oh shit. So I call my number from the house phone, and when I call, the girl picks up from the bus. And I'm like, oh my God, I must have left my phone on the bus. I'm so sorry, but I really need my phone back because I have important numbers in there that I need. Blah 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 blah. She was like, "Don't worry about it. We'll get off the bus and we'll bring it to you." I was trying to tell her to just simply turn it back into the bus station at the Lost and Found, and I would have just gotten a ride all the way downtown to get my phone. Without hesitation, it's not a problem. We'll get off the bus. We'll meet you halfway, and we'll give you back your phone. Didn't ask for any money, nothing. See, this is the kind of thing that happens when you treat people right. Now, I'm not going to say that's going to always be the case. But I'm in God's favor. And you have to know that when people try to come for you, when you're in God's favor, they can say, do whatever they want to do, but they can't touch you. I don't give a fuck who they are. I don't give a damn who you think you are, sweetie. But at the end of the day, you can't touch me. What you think you're doing, what you thought you was doing, ain't happening, Captain. Crunchitize me. Because it ain't happening, sweetheart. So treat people the way you want to be treated. So that when the time comes where you need somebody to bestow kindness on you, they will. It's just like one more time. I'm going to tell you one more situation. Years ago, I think I might have, just turned 18, maybe 19. I want to say I was 18. I went to this party. And at this party, it was a gay party at this organization. And at this organization, there were obviously gay people. It was a gay party. It was a, And, I mean, it's a long story. I'm going to give you the abridged version. But long story short, my homegirl was there with me, my best female friend. And we were there, and she outed two of her cousins that apparently were gay. But they all outed each other because she hadn't officially came out to them. They hadn't officially came out to her. But they all discovered, or the two cousins discovered at the same moment that my friend discovered they were all gay. Okay, fine. So it was kind of like a family reunion type of situation. But apparently, one of the guys, which was my friend's cousin, was somebody else's boyfriend. And I saw him looking at me from the doorway, but I didn't know what that was all about. So I'm trying to remember the sequence of events. I have, at one point, went downstairs for some reason, and on my way back upstairs, this individual who was looking at me from the doorway gave me a shoulder tap. And it was really like aggressive. And I'm kind of like, it was so aggressive that I thought that he was trying to flirt with me, because I didn't understand where that came from, because I don't even know you. Why are you touching me? I don't know you. So I turn around and I'm kind of like, I'm smiling because I'm like, it was a confused smile, like, what? I'm confused. And he was just like, do we have a problem? And I'm like, I'm confused. What? He's like, I said, do we have a problem? I'm like, excuse me? You're kidding, right? Because that was one of the few times where I was literally at a loss for words, because it came out of nowhere. I don't even know you to have a problem with you. I don't know you. So my homegirl's like, Quadere, or at the time, Quay, pay it, let it go. And I'm like, girl, it's already been let go, because I came here to have a good time. I didn't come here for no fun. I don't even know who this woman is. I don't know her. So I don't care. So I moved on. So we're on the dance floor, we're dancing, and all of a sudden I see a ruckus coming towards me. Like, just like a scene, like a whole group of people coming towards me. Now, the crowd all of a sudden, like, separates. And when the crowd separates, it's this group that I've seen with my own eyes. They jump people. They fight people. They jump people. And they all like to gang up and jump on people, so forth and so on. But the leader in the group, before I knew that they did that, the leader in the group, I had a couple of one-on-one conversations with him. And this is the person who has apparently like the best hands in the group. So before I even knew that they used to fight like that, I had ran into him, spoken to him a couple of times on the bus, and I just treated him with kindness. I didn't look down on him. I didn't talk to him like I was better or above. I just talked to him like a person, like a human, the way you're supposed to talk to people. You know what I mean? So he had love for me just because it wasn't like we were best friends or nothing, but he just knows that I'm not the kind of person that starts shit with people. I'll finish it or I'll defend myself. Don't get the game fucked up. But I've never been the person to start no fight. Okay, fine. So the person in question comes up and she's like, I was asking, do we have a problem, so forth and so on. And I'm like, are you really trying to do this right now? Like, what is your problem? I don't know you, and I don't have a problem, but if you're looking for one, you're about to cause one. Like, you're about to cause me to have a problem with you, because now it's like I feel like you're not going to let me go until we fight, is the way that I'm starting to feel now. And at that point, it's like I'm just going to give you what you're looking for, because I feel like you're not going to let it go unless I give you a fight. And it's like I don't want to fight you, but you're leaving me no choice, really. You know what I mean? So my homegirl jumps in the middle, and she's like, it's a misunderstanding, so forth and so on. And he slaps her hand, like very viciously, like slaps, like, bitch, whatever he said to her, like, bitch, get the fuck, or something. And I said, now, at this point, you're really pushing it. I'm letting you know. And just when it was really getting heated, the leader of that group, like the one that calls the shots for real, she realized who they were getting ready to jump, which was me. And she was like, oh no, we're not jumping her. And the girl was like, confused. She was like, we're not jumping her. And that's just that. It's not happening. And then her group ended up talking to me like, yeah, girl, don't worry about her, so forth and so on, blase, squaze, blah, blah, blah. And so then the person who wanted to fight me ended up coming back to me. And initially, she had an attitude and was like, I'm sorry, blah, 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 blah. It was a misunderstanding, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, that's fine. It's okay. I know that it was a misunderstanding because I don't know you like that. So I know. And it's okay. And I meant that. It was okay. But I just didn't like how you were going to jump me just because you thought that I was trying to flirt with your boyfriend, who, if you had just asked me what was going on, you would have known. The only reason why he was even over where I was is because his cousin was one of my good friends. I don't even know this guy. I don't want this guy. But in any event, then when we got ready to leave the party, then he gave me a more down-to-earth apology. Like, you know what, I just really want to apologize for real. I am sorry, so forth and so on. And it seemed like a genuine apology, and I wasn't going to hold a grudge. I'm like, it's fine. It's all good. It was a misunderstanding, and we're going to let it go. We're starting over right here. He gave me a hug. We moved on. But the only reason why I told you that story was to say, I have seen with my own eyes this group jump people in the past on numerous occasions. It would have been nothing for them to jump on me. Here again, I was in God's favor. You thought you were going to jump me. You had the intention to jump me. But it's like I said in my song. You cannot touch me no matter how hostile, because I heard a good word from the gospel. You treat others the way you want to be treated. It's the most basic fundamental thing. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And when the time comes for people to bestow that upon you, they will. And so the situation, they were ready to jump on me until the leader said, it ain't happening, Captain. You're not jumping on this thing. It's just not going to happen. And that's only because I treated the leader of that group, even before I knew she was the leader, with kindness. When we would talk, there was no hidden agenda. It was just two people having a conversation. And that's how you treat people. Like fucking people. You understand what I'm saying? And when the time comes, they will treat you right. You're going to have people who are going to try to fuck you over. You're going to have people who are going to try to manipulate you. It's a whole gaggle of people out there who want to get the best of you. But as long as you stay the course and treat people the right way, you won't fall but so far, because I'm letting you know, the universe will see to it that somebody in your time of need will come through at the last minute. I'm just letting you know. So with that being said, I love you guys. Don't forget to send me letters for my cork board. Also, one of my supporters made me a page on Facebook. That I hate this terminology. It's a fan page. I hate saying fan pages. I don't feel like I've earned that title to say fans. And it's just weird. Even if I could say it, I just don't like to say that. But it would be weird for me to say a support page, because then a support page is kind of like, it sounds like a page that you go to when you have questions. Like, okay, yeah, my computer's not working, support page. But in any event, you can go ahead on and like the page that he created. So that way when I update, do things, and whatever the case may be, you can follow the update. Also, follow me on Twitter. And that way you can have all the updates, and you can read my random thoughts when I have random thoughts. And see, I was talking this morning when I woke up about this random dream I had. I had two really weird dreams. I had one dream with Lauryn Hill. What are these dreams? I wonder if dreams really mean something. I wonder what these dreams mean. Okay, I had one dream, real quick. Now, this is ADHD on a separate note. I wonder if maybe one of you guys somebody out there is like a dream analyst and they can help me with this. I don't know. Okay, so I had one dream, and it's kind of broken. I don't remember all the details, but on that first dream with Lauryn Hill, like yesterday morning, or whenever I had it, yesterday night or morning, I don't know, but it was sometime yesterday. Okay, I had a dream, and the one part I remember is Lauryn Hill. It almost seems like she was in my bedroom, but my bedroom was like 10 times bigger than what it is now. And it seemed like my bedroom, it was a class going on in my room, a class. And at first, it almost felt like Sister Act for a minute, but it wasn't quite Sister Act. I was singing Killing Me Softly Lauryn Hill style, but my own way. And somebody had like an acoustic guitar, they were playing it, and I was singing, and Lauryn Hill all of a sudden comes through the door, and everybody's like, oh my god, it's Lauryn Hill. She comes in, she was just so sweet and down to earth, and just was just so knowledgeable, and just everything that I thought she would be. And she just started singing and gave us a little mini show. And after the show, I ran up to her while she was still in my room, sitting in this chair. It seems like it was this chair. And I just got on my knees and I was like, Lauryn Hill, please. And I started crying and everything. I was like, Lauryn Hill, I love you so much. Please let me help you. Let me just help you. I just want to, I don't want anything from you. I don't want you to feature me on your song. I don't want to be on your song. I don't want to write any songs for you. I don't want to do anything like that. Just let me be the person who tries to keep the negative people out of your life. Let me help you. Let me shower you with positive energy. I just know that we can get your career going because you're Lauryn Hill, and people will always support you, and people will always buy your record if you put a record out, and people need to hear your voice. It's so much like garbage out there, and we need you. So let me, I was like literally crying, like please, Lauryn. Bitch, I was like, please, Lauryn, please, just let me show you, like, I can just be that positive energy to just be there. Like, I just want to be there and, like, keep it real with you and just let you know that you got a real ass bitch in your corner to just be there. And just when people try to get in your situation and try to be poisonous energies, I can let you know, like, please. And she was touched, and she was like, she gave me a look, and she was kind of like, I can't remember what she said, but the look was basically like, let me think, like she was thinking about actually putting me on, like being around her so that I could be that energy, like I was saying. So she had went outside, and it was a van, like, it wasn't even no fancy van. It was like one of them vans with them doors that can slide open. Not a minivan, but like one of those construction worker vans that you can slide the doors open. I'm kind of like, why is Lauryn Hill in this van like this? And so, but I was like, but you know what? I don't give a damn. I love Lauryn, so I don't care if she was on a bicycle. So when she was in the van, I'm like, but Lauryn, you never gave me your number. How am I going to contact you? So she was like, as I started walking close to the car, there were like these Jamaican dudes with like dreadlocks in the car, like, and there was like drums in the car and all type of shit in the car, like just like something out of like Cheech and Chong. It was just really weird. But you know, again, it was Lauryn Hill and I loved her and I did not give a fuck. I didn't care. So the closer I got to the car, the one guy was trying to be funny because I think he saw me and was like, oh, he's gay, and tried to like, he put his foot on the gas and started driving off. And Lauryn started laughing. I'm like, oh, man, that is not cool. How you just going to drive off, Lauryn? Like, I'm really trying to help you. Like, I really want to be around and help you. And then she was like, no, stop the car. Because I was, like, looking so disappointed, like, and she was like, when I ran up to the car, she gave me her card, and she was like, give me a call and we'll see what we can make happen. And it was like her cell number, her home number, it had everything on it. And I was like, Lauryn, I love you so much. And then I woke up. It was more to the dream than that, but that's the only sequence that I remember. Lauryn Hill. I feel like something's on the horizon. I just don't know what. I don't know what that dream signifies. Okay, here's the second dream. I'm trying to make it quick because now this post is going on for too long. Second dream. Okay, let me think. It seemed like we pulled into like this drive-in movie theater. But it was kind of like the afternoon time. The sun was just getting ready to set, and it was so many people. Like, this was like the new, I'm assuming that drive-ins all of a sudden became popular again, like super popular, because literally it looked the way it looked back in the day when drive-ins first were created. Like, it was packed. Like, there was no places for cars to really park. And as we were driving through, there was this guy, like this foreign dude, very attractive. He had his shirt off. And, you know, he was talking. And he was, like, flirting with me. My friends thought that he was flirting with them. But it was clear that he was flirting with me. Like, he would flirt with them every so often. But he was only trying to be nice to them. The energy he was giving me was that he was trying to be nice to them. So that I would be like, oh, he's really cool. He's really nice to my friends. And I like him. I like him because he gets along with my friends. But he was really flirting with me. So my friends, once they got the clue, they're like, well, why don't you come with us? We're going to watch whatever movie what they're going to watch. And he was like, well, whatever, with his accent. It sounded like he was maybe French or something. I can't remember what it was. He was like, well, I have a perfect spot because it's very crowded. So I can guarantee you, if you go anywhere down there, you're not going to find a spot. You're not going to find a spot because it's too crowded down there. So we end up going to this weird, like, location that was kind of like secluded. And it was like this mountain that was way up in this weird, like, location. And I remember thinking, like, how much further before we park and can watch the movie? But then I was thinking, secretly, I don't even know if I want to park because it looks really weird. Like, I'm really concerned right now. It's really creepy. And so, anyway, we get there, and all of a sudden, it's like these men start coming out of the woods. And I'm thinking, like, I can't remember I honestly can't remember the exact thing that happened, but I want to say it seemed like they started trying to, like, grab us up. And then all of a sudden, I just had this overwhelming feeling like they were trying to human traffic us, like, sell us into sex slavery or something. That's what it felt like. But before I could find out exactly what was happening, all of a sudden it was like I blinked my eyes. And when I opened my eyes, I was in this diner. And in the diner, I don't want to say that they were waitresses. I don't know what they were doing there. But Dionne Warwick was there, Dolly Parton, and Patti LaBelle. And they were in the diner, and all of a sudden they just burst out in song talking about, you haven't seen the best of me yet. The fuck? I don't know what that was. It was just so weird. Like, you haven't seen the best of me yet. They just kept saying that same phrase. Like, oh, it was like, and they kept saying the same thing in different ways. And then Patty would come in and get behind it like, yes! You haven't seen the best of me yet. Like, I'm like, what is going on? And then Dolly Parton, you haven't seen the best of me yet. Like, just real, like, I'm like, with her wig and everything, and she was so little, and she was so nice. She's like, hey, darling, you haven't seen the best of me yet. I'm like, and then Dionne Warwick, you haven't seen the best of me yet. I'm like, what is happening? And then, oh my God, and then there was this one part. Patsy Cline was there, so I'm like, what is Patsy Cline doing here? Patsy Cline was sitting there, but she wasn't singing. She was just sitting there with her classic little curl, just smiling like, it was so weird. And then I woke up. And then I took the trash out. It's just really odd. Can someone who knows anything about dreams tell me what that means, if it means anything at all? You haven't seen the best of me yet. Patsy Cline, Dolly Parton, Dionne Warwick, and Patti LaBelle. Like, what? We got 2 country singers and 2 soul singers. Does that mean anything? I don't know. You haven't seen the best. Drive-in movie theater, Lauren. Okay, anyway, I'm letting you guys go. You know I ramble. Forgive me for keeping you as long as I did. I love you guys. You guys fucking rock. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And, I mean, the world would be so much better. I mean, I know it's naive to say that everyone is going to treat everybody kindly. I know that. But if we just start with us, I think that in a small way we can make a change, if that makes any sense at all. But I love you guys. You guys are fucking awesome. And we have warmer posts to do. Remember I was telling you that series that we were going to do? Warmer posts next week, God willing. We're going to clock the T on that. So that being said, I love you guys. You guys fucking rock. Bye.